guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a guest. For those of you who don't know, a majority of you probably won't know, I have a business, a clothing brand, and I do it with my two besties, and this is one of them. The other one will be coming on sooner or later, but just got to ease her in. So introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Lola and I am the designer at Women's Wear.
Yeah, so I forgot to even say that the brand is called Women's Wear. You can check us out on Instagram. I'm going to put it here or down below, wherever. Today's video is going to be about how to start a clothing business with no money or little to no money.
Firstly, let's just be totally honest. There's no business that has actually started with absolutely zero money. Even if you have £50, there is some form of money
you
that you're going to have from starting a business. So yeah, that's just the first thing.
So like with us, we had an idea which was like, okay, basically the quick rundown was we were broke in uni and we needed money. Literally, that is the best way to describe it. We needed money and we was like, our jobs aren't doing it for us right now, we're still in uni, what can we do? We thought of, let's do a business. What business do we want to do? We like clothes, let's do clothing. Then we thought about what's the niche in the market, what's not being fulfilled that people kind of want but there's nothing really there for them. So we thought of lingerie, because to be fair, yeah, there's loads of lingerie places but they're quite expensive. Nothing is affordable lingerie that feels luxury. So we thought of that as our niche market, and that is what I would say anyone that wants to start a clothing business, think of what your USP is going to be or what your niche is going to be, so you know that, yeah, I might have competitors but there's actually a gap in the market for me.
And yeah, I would definitely say that so before we used to do the lingerie brand, and currently we have a women's clothing brand. So we sell athleisure, we sell streetwear, ready to wear pieces. And one thing I will say is that if you're not passionate about doing this, don't even waste your time, because the good thing about us is that when we did the lingerie, we'll get into that, but when we did the lingerie, that allowed us to build the capital to be able to even start this business. So there was an end point and there was an end goal. But if you know you're just trying to jump on a wave, trying to get involved in something because you see, oh, this one started around, that one started around,
it's not gonna work.
Pointless. Like you're gonna encounter so many obstacles that you're gonna think,
is it even worth it?
This is not worth my time. I've wasted so much money.
You know how many times we've cried, like literally, and people that do it on their own, I really commend you, because literally it's literally been a thing of, oh, one of us is crying, the other one is like, okay, just calm down, or just, you know, it's always a balance. It's like, because there's somebody else, it helps when you're feeling down, but it's going to be stressful. It's not easy. It's very stressful. When we started Lovely Lounge, there was 4 of us, and before we had even bought, have we even bought anything?
I don't think we'd even bought the domain
name. I don't think we'd even bought the domain name, and then it dropped down to 2 of us, and it was like, we've already started. What was the point of us having a big meeting, discussing everything, and then 2 people drop out before that? Like, it literally even made it feel like, oh, okay, this is real, because people can see we're getting serious by it, and no one wants to put their no one wants to put their money down, no one wants to get involved in it. Or even when it comes to just being proactive, nobody wants to be proactive.
And that's so sorry, let's even go all the way back. When you start a business, don't think it depends on what type of person you are. Decide, am I going to do this with someone, or do I need to do this by myself? If you can stand alone, that's totally fine, even better.
But the only thing I would say is doing it by yourself. It's not even technically by yourself. You need to know that, okay, I'm doing it by myself since I'm the main CEO, but you need to find people around you that are going to be willing to help you, whether that's family members or anyone. So even still, it's like a child. You need a village. You need help.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to everything, but I would say don't just force it. If your friend is not on it, don't force it. Or if you have someone that's not on it, you need to start a business or clothing business with someone that has the same vision as you, like where you are strong, that other person is weak, and when the other person is strong, you're weak. You both balance out each other.
So that's like kind of the first tip, I would say. Like, know who you're getting into business with, decide whether you want to do it alone or with somebody else, and think of what your unique selling point is going to be for your clothing brand.
The second thing I would say is probably to establish who your target audience is. I've seen that so many brands have started, and yeah, they say that they are their target audience, which is fine, it's not a problem, but you have to bear in mind that whatever product you launch, just because you like it, it doesn't mean the public is going to like it. You need to be so quick at understanding who your clients are. And who your clients are, yes, you can shape it to a certain extent, but at the same time, the people that naturally come to you, that are going to buy from you, you need to understand who they are.
Yeah.
Are they size 10? Are they size 12? Do they like long? Do they like short things? Do they like stretchy things? Do they like silky things? Like, these are things you need to quickly understand. Go.
So yeah, I just want to say, because that is something that when we started the lingerie business, for example, like we actually went out and did ground market research, like literally, like this is the apprentice going up to random people and saying, what do you think about lingerie? We had like a list of questions that we wanted to ask them, and we got their answers literally. Obviously, I'm not saying you have to do that, but you have to figure out a way where you're going to do your market research, because there's no point in saying I make clothes for people like me. You don't even know how many people there are that are like you out in the world. So you need to do your market research. You can't just think, I'm going to wear this. I like this because I think it's so nice. There's been, even with the lingerie, like we learned so much from designing. You'll think something's nice. You'll think this is banging. When it comes, it's not exactly what you envisioned, or because of technicalities, it hasn't come out exactly what you thought it would be like. And no one likes it. Or the things that you think, oh, that's just anything.
Yeah,
it's what people
cheap.
love.
And that's what
people love. So you
yeah.
have to literally do market research to understand who the people are that want to buy your product.
Yeah.
It can't just be about you, me, myself and I. Otherwise you might as well just make your own clothes at home and wear it for yourself.
Specifically, that market research is crucial if you are selling wholesale pieces, because some people are skilled and they can choose on-trend pieces that is going to be suitable to customers. But if you're a rookie in this, you don't have any experience, anything, there's nothing wrong with trial and error, but just to minimize your costs, do a little what's it called again, poll. Oh guys, do you prefer this material? Do you like this color? It helps, and it saves you so much time. And if you have 70% of people saying they want something in black, or 80% of people that are saying they prefer to wear skirts in summer, these are things you need to take into consideration, because when you are, let's say you are doing wholesale, you don't want to buy 50 pieces of something that is just not going to sell. And how are you going to know that if you don't do some type of market research? Also, market research will help you to do with your pricing as well, because you can launch something and let's say you're trying to sell it at £100, like that's
another thing to do with your target audience. Like, you need to know the people that are going to buy from you, what are they willing to spend? Are they teenagers that don't want to spend anything above £30, or are there people that work full-time that have a bit of spare cash and they're willing to go up into that 150, 200 mark? You can't just wake up one day and think, I've made this, I just want to sell it at £100. You need to dig deeper and understand your price. You need to think of who your target audience are, what are they willing to spend. Then you need to factor in things like, how much has this garment cost me to make, how much did it cost me to ship it over here, how much, just so many little things that you have to factor in. You can't just randomly just blow out a number and think, yeah, people are going to buy. You might get some people, but people are always going to question. The more expensive something is, people are going to question, why is that price? And they're going to, if you can't produce the quality, or you can't produce the experience of a buyer's experience, then online, then they're going to want their money back. And what will happen is they'll buy it from you, but you'll get a chargeback, or they'll buy it from you, or they'll be like, you'll get complaints and ask for a refund, or ask for an exchange, or people buy it from you and just never buy it from you again. And it's all lovely having first customers, but what everyone wants is customer retention, where people come back to you over and over and over again, because those are the people that will make your business, literally.
Yeah. When you're starting your clothing brand, you want to write down a list of necessities, not what you want, necessities. So, for example, where are you going to be selling your products? Are you going to sell it online? Where are you going to be marketing? Are you going to start on Instagram? Are you going to market on Twitter? Where are you marketing your actual business? So those are the first couple of things. You need to go and buy a domain name. You need to use somewhere that is credible, I would say, and reliable. We use GoDaddy.
GoDaddy. is it One Day or One something?
I think it's one.com.
Yeah, one.com. There's quite a few places, but I would just say especially if you're not into the whole techie scene, stick to something that's just reliable. Easy.
Yeah.
GoDaddy is very good. I know some people don't really like it, but I think as a beginner starting out, I would say go to GoDaddy.
Find where your shop is going to be hosted on, so whether it's going to be a big Cartel, Wix, preferably if you're selling stuff, I personally wouldn't recommend Wix because I think it's better for gallery-based stuff.
I was going to say, like, when it comes to e-commerce, for anything, whatever you're selling, just make sure whatever your e-commerce host is has ease of use, because it's so, like, disheartening as a business person to go on people's websites that I know they've spent hours on and it's just not user friendly.
Yeah, it's
like,
difficult to use.
It's just not. It's I don't know what the word is, but it's sad. Like, okay, that's rude. Is that rude?
It is sad. We have to be honest. It's sad. It's annoying. And as a customer, I will leave your site as quick as you can say Jack Robinson. When something's not working, I'm not going to go and say, hi, I'm trying to buy this scarf and it's not. I'll come off of that and I'll go to someone else and find wherever else they're selling it.
Obviously, it might sound rude, but the thing is, we live in such a fast-paced society that literally, if I'm trying to buy something and it's not working, I'm off of it. I'm not on it anymore. Like, I don't want it because it's too complicated. I can't even put the thing in the basket, or even to find the item. I can't, difficult. Like, just so many little things. So I feel like a lot of people forget about the website and the usability of their site when they are creating it. I think they just think, oh, it looks so pretty. But it's not about looking pretty. It's about, can people actually get to your site?
What's the convenience of it?
Yeah, is it quick? People should be able to check out of your site within
a minute
or less. Like, that is what should be able to happen.
Yeah.
So people need to think about that.
For a new business that doesn't have money, I would suggest to just start off a big Cartel. You don't have the most amount of themes, but simplicity, making it look nice and neat. You can do that for, I think, around $7 per month. So that is very cheap and inexpensive. And maybe when you do level up and get a bit more money and more customers coming in, you can then go on to Shopify, which is very similar but just a bit more sophisticated in terms of the themes you can do and like how you can play around with it and stuff. But I would suggest Big Cartel only because if you have a problem, you can definitely contact someone that will be able to help you and fix your site as soon as possible. Okay, so people always ask like, where did you get money from, all this type of stuff, but business is about having money and being able to flip that money. So in the fashion world, or not even just fashion world, but in having a fashion business at this level, you can either do wholesale or you can actually you can do wholesale, or you can be a buyer, you can actually buy people's stock and resell it, or you can manufacture, design the products yourself from scratch and then sell it. That's currently what we did. But in the very beginning, what we do. But in the very beginning, we used to buy. In fact, tell a lie, we thought we were going to do it for about 6 months, but the way we kept getting customers, we only happened to do it for about 2 months. So we bought wholesale.
Only the first batch release.
Yeah, the first batch of stuff was wholesale. So we did wholesale because that was a quick way to literally flip the money we had. So just prime example, let's say we bought the bra and knickers at like between £5 and £10, and then we sold it at like £25, and we just kept repeating that process until we had built enough capital to actually start designing the stuff from scratch and then producing it. Designing that wholesale part is simple, it's fairly easy to use. The only thing that is a negative about it is that you can't control the quality.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can ask for a sample and the stuff is lovely, and then you
the
ask
sample
for like,
will be amazing, and then when you get the bulk product, it's like this
is terrible. There's so many issues.
Going through
and
it.
The thing is, you will still find that even when you are producing your stuff and designing it, but it's a lot easier to control compared to when you're doing wholesale. You know the price that you bought that thing for, so if people are coming back with complaints, don't be confused. Yeah, because with wholesale, sorry to cut you off, but like with wholesale, something can look so good on, but doesn't determine what the quality is. And if you get that thing, if you bought 100 of something and the quality is pants, that's it. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. Things to factor in as well when you are selling or buying wholesale items is that, firstly, make sure that your manufacturer is someone that you can communicate with all times of the night, year, whatever. They're not just going to go missing. You're not going to buy 50 things from them and then they're going to go missing. I think a lot of the time people just think, yeah, I found this sick wholesaler. Make sure you have at least 3 or 4 so that if one is missing, you still got 4
we've had that
and vice versa.
That is something that we learned during the business, that you cannot put all your eggs into one basket. You can't think, oh, I've met this manufacturer, she's amazing, or he's amazing, they communicate so well, blah, blah, blah. They'll be gone. And you'll be messaging and messaging and messaging, and air is what you're receiving back. And then what do? You literally feel like, I can't do this anymore, I don't want to do it anymore, I don't want to do the business. So literally the best thing to have is 3 or 4, so you know, okay, for this season I'm going to use these 2 and I'll hold off on the other 2, but I know if the other 2 flop me, I can go back to the other 2 that I have. You literally need to have different manufacturers at your beck and call, because otherwise you'll face a point in time when you want something to be made and they're telling you it's this holiday, it's that holiday, my son is here and I need to close the whole company down, or I'm not talking anymore, I don't work here anymore.
You'll encounter so many excuses, and that's from any wholesaler, regardless of where they are in the world.
There's always something, there's always an excuse, so you have to just cover your own back and have more than one. I would buy them from wholesalers. It's fairly cheap, and obviously the more you buy, the cheaper it is, but I personally wouldn't recommend for you to go out there and buy 100 unless you know the demand is there. Even if you start off with selling 10 to 20 pieces. Yeah, build it up slowly. There's no point in just going blam ham, because it's just, dead stock is the worst thing to have, and it's just the worst feeling, because you literally will have to look at that stock every day and it's just upsetting.
It's just not moving.
It's money sitting there in front of you that's not doing anything.
It's not moving at all. And when you do buy these wholesale pieces, I would suggest to sell it at either 2 or 3 times the price that you bought it for, just so you make a bit of a profit. Also, when you're shipping these stuff into, if you're, like, let's say you're purchasing this stuff from abroad, whether it's America, China, Turkey, wherever your wholesalers are, there is going to be not only a shipping fee, but there'll be a customs fee.
Yeah.
So
ooh, that customs fee!
Yeah,
when that customs fee, you'll buy everything, you'll have paid for your wholesale, whatever, and you've even paid for your shipping, and then DHL or UPS or FedEx, whatever, they'll send you one nice text.
You're paying £300.
Just to let you know, your item has arrived. No, your item has arrived in the UK.
You need to pay
£300.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Where's the extra money? These times you've used all of your money to pay for the items to be made and for the shipping. Where do you find another £300?
So these are things that you have to really factor in. Don't get excited and say, oh my god, this dress is only cheap. $5. I'm going to buy 5. Don't get excited.
Yeah.
Just factor all of these things in, and especially as you're starting a new business, especially if you don't have any money, just think about these extraneous things that can take place. So if you're manufacturing here, there is so much you need to think about, but that's just going to be for another video. But just know, unless you know how to do pattern cutting, unless your uncle owns a fabric store, unless he owns a haberdashery store, anything like that, these are things you have to factor in. Whereas if you're manufacturing abroad, they will do all of that for you. The most they might say is, which zip do you want? What material do you want? What colour do you want? And you just have to say yes, yes, no, 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 no.
The more, and remember, the more complex your design is, the more things you need. Literally, especially if you're doing it in this country, like, the more things you need. Things that you wouldn't even think of sourcing. You have to source, because there's nowhere here that to my knowledge anyway, from research that I've done, that really sources everything for you
and produces it for you. So those are things that you kind of have to factor in. So if you are trying to manufacture these things, that's fine, but just make sure you understand the costing to a T. So by the time you finish manufacturing your thing, whether it's here, wherever, work out, okay, so if I make 50 of this, how much is it likely going to cost me? Then you need to figure out how much is it going to cost me to ship it here, and furthermore, if it's coming from abroad, how much is the customs charge going to be? When you factored all of that in, if you have the capital, then fine, that is not a problem. But if you don't run before you can walk, and just figure out, okay, I don't think I'm able to do this. I think we've covered everything. thing.
We didn't say where do you find your manufacturer.
Oh, where do you find the manufacturer? Again, Google.
Yeah. Google is
I don't
your
care
friend.
if that sounds rude or it sounds like, oh, is that what I've watched this video for? It's the truth. We literally
no one
spend,
told us anything. Like,
yeah, like
you have to research.
If
like,
you know what our
can't-
parents do, what our family members do, we are the only ones that are actually in this fashion industry doing this.
There's no one coming to tell us, and it's not to be mean or anything like that, but just do research, because for me, I get it when people say things like, I don't want to give too much because, or I don't want to give you this person, because when you have a bad experience with this person and I haven't had a bad experience with that person, am I supposed to, what's meant to happen? Just research. Literally,
do your market
is serious.
Yeah, do your market research. Like with me, with everything I do, even if my Wi-Fi is not working, I will find myself on one forum that will lead me to another forum
that will tell you
lead me to another
this person
forum.
did this and like
so,
talking about manufacturers.
Even think outside the box. So if you know you have a wholesaler manufacturer that makes a particular quality that you like the way that this wholesale dress is, ask them. Just be like, I really like this dress that you make. Would you guys be interested in doing manufacturing my pieces from scratch? More time they will, because if they're the people that are producing these wholesale pieces, more time they will accept it. It's just that the manufacturing quantity order may be higher. So rather than it being, oh, you can order between 3 and 10 pieces from me at a time, it might be, oh, can you order 50 of each size of this thing? And that's fine, don't let it scare you, but just know negotiation, talking away.
Yeah, you have to. Don't go with the first price they tell you. Never.
If they tell you this is gonna cost $12 per thing, just be like, are you willing to accept 11? Always negotiate. And don't be rude.
Even if it's
be
10p
nice.
off, it will help. Because trust me, the numbers add up so quickly. You're thinking, huh?
It's only 10 cents. What's the difference?
It adds up.
Negotiate. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask them if they're willing to do different colours of things. More time they will be able to do it. Just ask. Like, don't be afraid.
Yeah, you need to be sure about what you want and ask the right questions. I can give you 10 really good manufacturers and you still won't know what to do with it. So you need to think to yourself, what is it that I need? What is it that I want? And how am I going to get it?
As well, if you are manufacturing abroad, from personal experience, the better person is at speaking English or communicating with you, the better your product is going to be. When there's a language barrier
or any communication barrier, it's not
going to come out exactly as you want it to be. Make your designs clear as can be. Go material shopping. Find out what the best material is. Make sure that it doesn't stretch in a weird way. Make sure if it's a 4-way stretch, make sure the material you're sourcing abroad is a 4-way stretch. Be specific. Because you can tell them, I want this ribbed.
Or,
and
there's different types of ribbon. There's different types.
And the ribbon they produce for you is not what you had in your mind. So the more specific you are about your designs, it's not so much about the drawing. It's more colour, shape. If you know
a material,
anything, every design out there has been done in some way. Don't ever think you're an inventor. Like, everything has been done in some shape or form or whatever. It's more about the materials and the combinations and how you execute this thing together. So all in all,
and always make sure you get a sample. Don't ever just go dive in first and just order like 50 or 25 or 100 of something. You need to get a sample. You need to feel it, look and feel, decide if this is good enough. Does it even fit right? Like, you need to think about the sample first before you even jump to start buying in bulk.
If you know that's not the direction you're trying to go in and you want longevity, try and think tactically about every single thing you do. So if you know, okay, I'm going to build up my capital, I've got £50, £100, I want to flip this £100 and I want to make 2k or whatever. These are the things you need to be doing. Everything needs to be strategic. Write down a list of things that you need to do, how much these things are going to cost you on average to do, and even if you can't afford a photo shoot, in the early stages we used to take a picture on a mannequin of our items. We would literally take a picture against a white wall and we would edit out the body. So we should add some type of like picture so you can see.
I'll try and find the old
product
picture.
shots without models.
Without models. We didn't have time to pay for models. We literally had to put on the mannequin. I remember we actually saw someone to do it for us. When we saw what he did, we was like, nah, we're doing it ourselves. Like, that's another thing as well. in business, rather than spending your money on everything,
learn
how to do it yourself. Literally, I had to teach myself how to do graphics. I don't know how to do no graphics. I'm not in that field. But when we realized, I think we did a couple of newsletters and a couple of graphic things, and then we realized, no, this actually has an effect. It catches people's eye and makes them go to the shop and look. Even if they're not going to buy it, at least it's getting more brand awareness. So we realized, okay, we need graphics designers. Have you seen how much graphics designers charge? Or even when you're going to go and use someone on Fiverr and they ain't done what you want and you still got to pay them. Like, no, I don't know if it's changed now, but that's how it used to be.
Really try and teach yourself
at least one skill.
Like, a lot of people come to me when they see that, because now I've taught myself how to use Illustrator. Like, oh, what software are you using? You can ask people hundreds of questions of what are they doing, or everything is on Google. When I want to make a certain type of pattern, when I'm drawing on Illustrator, a dress, I will Google, how do I make a zip? How do I do this on Illustrator? Everything is out there, and if you don't want to use these resources of how to do these things, I'm sorry, you're not going to grow as fast as you want unless you have some serious capital
to pay for everyone to do every little thing.
You're not, and it's frustrating, because even when you pay people to do stuff, there's only so much they can do. Yeah. Even if you go to a graphics designer,
it might not even be exactly how you want it.
He or she can only do what they're paid for. So if you pay for 5 different designs, that's it. And are you going to keep using those 5 different designs every time you're doing a promo? No. You need to teach yourself how to do these things. It doesn't mean you can't start doing your business, because even still, you don't have to use Photoshop or Illustrator.
You can use Canva.
You can use Fonto. These are apps that are free.
There's even apps. Yeah, Fonto is on your phone. There's so many apps you can do on your phone. There's even a GIF thing.
Yeah, that's ImgPlay. That will teach you how to do that. Not teach you, that you can do GIFs with, or you can make little fun videos with. Just try and be resourceful. Stop allowing money to be the reason why you can't do this. Stop allowing excuses to be the reasons why you can't do. There's no secret key. There's no family funding that's been given to us for us to do what we want. We know what we want to do. We know the level we're trying to reach. So we're gonna do as much things as we can to achieve those things.
I remember, I think I was watching a Heather Saunders video. I don't know what she was talking. She was talking about something to do with Sewing Boutique, and she said that she learned that you need to be involved in almost every aspect of your business. Now, I'm not saying throughout, as your business grows and gets big, you have to be in every little thing, but you need to understand how a majority of the things come. You can't have somebody that does something in your business and you don't know anything about it. It doesn't work like that. You need to be hands-on. You need to dabble in. You need to know how every process works. You need to be involved. That's why we're saying, if you're not passionate about it, forget it. Stick to wholesale if that's going to work for you. But even after a while, because of different things, you're probably going to get burnt out and be like, do you know what, I'm fed up of it. Even Pretty Little Things, as much as they do wholesale, they do design some things. So I just feel like you have to be passionate and willing to learn. If you're not willing to learn, you might struggle.
And understand trends and be able to repeat it. So if you know that, okay, I launched 3 things and this particular style worked, do it again and again and again. It's about
understanding what your customers like, because by the time you've had about, I would say, 3 or 4 things, you'll start to realize what works and what doesn't. So you need to focus on those things. So try not to make everything so similar, otherwise you're not going to really be helping yourself. As you're growing, as you're even making new stuff, that is even market research, because you'll see this sold really well, that didn't sell really well.
Another thing that we get is, how did you grow your social media? It's a type of picture. If you know this picture got 1,000 likes and that picture didn't get 1,000 likes, understand, okay, why did that one get 1,000 likes? Was it the time I put it up? Was it the color grading on the picture? Is it the clarity of the picture? Understand trends, and being able to clock onto these things straight away will propel you further than hindering you. Don't just be absent-minded. Everything has to be what's the word when it's like purpose? Everything has to be done with purpose, and otherwise you're just wasting your time.
Another thing I want to say is that please, when it comes to social media, you cannot just produce any type of content. It needs to be good content. You have to deep it. This is your brand. Your brand is your name. Think of your brand as a child, as your baby. You would not want your child to go out looking anyhow or anything like that. So you need to make sure the content you produce is spectacular or A1.
Yeah.
Don't think about it like, would I be happy with this? You need to remember, when you're putting content on your business page, that is for consumers' purposes, not just to get likes. It's to entice people to go to your brand and then hopefully make a purchase. So you need to ensure that things are clear. You can't be selling clothes and you're focusing on someone's toe, or you're focusing on their makeup. That's not going to do it. Yes, these are all things that add onto the element of making the whole picture nice, but you need to know what your focal point is, and
Which
focus
is the
on that
clothes.
and focus on it. So
Does the clothes look nice in the
does the clothes
picture?
look nice in the picture? Does it look smooth? Is it ironed? Is there creases? Like, you can't be having that. Everything needs to look seamless, literally. With the social media, another thing that I would say is that you really need to engage with whoever engages with you on your page. Seek to find people that, you know, you think would want to be interested in your brand and follow them. Like, don't just open your page and think everyone's gonna come and follow me.
I started a
like my
business,
thing.
50 followers. Like, don't be bougie with it, because in the end, it's not just about following. It's about who is going to go on your website, who is going to purchase, because that in itself is a whole nother story. Like, you need conversions. Without conversions, you can have 100,000 followers. If you don't have £100,000 in your account, or you're making that, then what's the point? It makes no sense. And also, people always ask, like, how do you get influencers? So here's the thing. Influencers love free stuff. It doesn't mean that everyone needs to receive your things at all.
You have to be specific. It's not just because this person has
1 million
followers.
It means nothing.
They can have 1 million followers and get 400 likes and get 15 comments. What's the point? That's the same as somebody that has less followers.
If you want a influencer, make sure that they're a clothing influencer. Make sure that that influencer has your target audience following them
they
already.
Are on brand, basically. They go with your brand. They literally embody your brand.
In general, we would definitely say, you know, if you don't have any money to begin with and you want to get into this clothing brand, definitely start with wholesale. Even if it's just a few pieces, flip it, make it, whatever, flip the money. Do not touch the money.
Every penny you make, especially in that first year, pump it back in. Don't even think, I'm making a business and I'm gonna, it's for me to put money aside or anything like that. Put the money back in, because if you don't put the money back in, you're not going to see the growth. Yeah. You have to put the money back in.
Let's say your plan is to launch something on the end of the month. Always try and create some type of buzz, whether it's a 2-week buzz just before you're about to launch. Just create a buzz, share it on social media. Social media is your best friend in the sense that it is free. The only thing is, the more viral your picture goes, the more likely it's going to be copied. So that's another thing you need to factor in and you need to think about. It's going to be copied no matter what. Work out your profit margins and your percentages. If you don't know how to do that, there's actually calculators on YouTube, on Google. Planoly, that's a really good app for planning your post on Instagram. It's really good.
The apps and things that we've talked about, I'll mention it in the description bar below.
Make sure you use Instagram to see your engagements. What's your best times to post? What countries is your target audience?
Where's watching your stuff? And if you're in the UK and a lot of people in America is your main target audience, then you need to start posting when people in America are going to be awake. You can try and figure it out. So if you're going to post 2 to 3 times a day, don't just stick to just posting once a day or once a week. You have to post a lot if you want your business page to, you know, flow and grow.
Make sure you're using words that are familiar to your target audience as well.
What's on trend? What's a meme right now?
Make sure you're talking to them in a way that they're going to relate to and understand. And then on your site, make sure it's professional, usable. Make sure the currencies, anyone can use it from anywhere in the world. They're going to be able to understand it.
And then I would just also say, if you can, build your own following too, so that you can, when in months when you're feeling dry, like you don't have content or you don't have money or whatever, you can post things,
a picture of yourself in that outfit.
in your outfits, and get people buzzing, because your page might not, when your page starts, you're probably going to have more followers in your page. So get your own page buzzing, get people interacting with you to then be able to drive them to your business page. That is something that I think is crucial, also a key, and it really helps. So I think we've hit everything so far. We asked questions on our Instagram, on our socials. I'll put them wherever, and some of you gave questions, but if you have any more questions that you want us to answer, we're going to do another video part 2, which is going to be a Q&A solely. Then just put them in the description bar below. Put them in the comments section below, and yeah, ask whatever questions you want, and then when we're doing the Q&A, we will answer the questions. But thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, I'm not doing that. But yeah, thank you, guys. Bye.